So I think I'm going to take this project in another direction at this point. I think I'm going to pause on the gasket replacement for a couple of reasons and go after that oil separator hose. The reason why I'm going to do that is because I saw through another video just trying to get some of my questions answered. I saw that somebody had replaced uh, secondary air gasket, I think is what he called it. And I tried to look around for that part, and it looks like that's a BMW part also. That I don't know if I can see that there. It's just a couple of nuts, and a cap piece. Um, I don't know what it is, but it's a cheap part, I'm sure. It's just another gasket, and it's one of those things where, I'm in this area now. It probably could be done later. It sits outside of the valve cover, so it certainly can be done later. Um, I guess I don't want to, do it later. I'd rather just do it now. Seems like a good idea, considering everything we're doing. It's right in that area. Let's just do it and get it done with. It might have some interaction with the air separator. For all I know, there's a lot of air flowing around in these things. Again, I'm not an engine guy, but for a stupid little part, let's just do it, get it done with. It's all dirty and cruddy. We'll make sure it's nice and clean. So today being Sunday, I gotta wait till BMW is open tomorrow. So, and then being that this is my only car at the moment, I gotta wait till my wife becomes available. So I might even do it on Tuesday morning and get that part. So I figure if I got this time, I might as well just go ahead and do the other stuff. As far as the valve cover goes, I have an unanswered question. I'm just not sure about the amount of, roughness. If you look at uh, the head itself, I mean, I guess it's not perfect, but I mean, I guess I don't know why that's all scored right there. That kind of almost looks factory, but hard to say. But maybe it doesn't have to be perfect. But I think that at the minimum, what you shouldn't do is try to sand this. I think if you sanded it, you could affect its levelness and have like a wider space there or a deep spot, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather the gasket just went over the top of the rough spots. I have seen online that new valve covers a couple $100 on the low end, maybe 500 in the medium. Rather not spend that money. So I'm gonna try to investigate this a little further. You can see how it's blistered just a little bit, and you can see that pretty good there. And there's supposed to be a gasket that goes, or that center gasket that goes right here, and it's rough right there. So I don't know if that's gonna be okay. They may have to machine it. I would only do that if it was cheaper than buying a new one, so it seems hard to believe I'd be able to machine it for $100. Maybe if it was like 150, 175, it would be cheaper than buying a new one. Maybe I'd do that. I'm gonna stop short of painting this thing because it has the engine cover on it, so I'm not going to paint it. You won't really see it. So I don't think that's really worth the time. If I was going to keep the car, maybe I would, but I'm just fixing it to sell it. So let's just do what it has to be done. But I am documenting this, so there's no sense in taking any shortcuts. We're going to do this the right way. If I need a new one, I need a new one. If I have to machine it, I'll machine it. But I do know that I have to get to that oil separator hose. So that's what we're going to do today, being that I have well, that's all I can really do today. I have seen people clean the insides of these, so I may do that, get this nice and clean, kind of reset the clock as much as we can on this project, and or on this car with this project, and we'll go from there. All right, so we're going after this hose now. It looks like it kind of does attach kind of high up back here, but I can't speak on that. Again, it could have multiple connections, and it's hard to tell just by feeling it how that's connected. So I did drop my mirror back there trying to get a better look, and now that's dropped in there, so I guess I'll pull that out in a little bit. So you got to start by taking off this intake, a couple of screws right on the face of this here, just one on either side, and this comes out. That's where it was kind of not connected before. And there you are. Not sure what that was hung up on. And I also took out the two screws or the two bolts already over here, the 10 mil. Maybe you need to do both those at the same time. You know, those two and those two, so that you can wiggle this around. A couple little clips on the edge here. You can use a screwdriver, some sort of pry tool. One there, one there. Your nails, use your nails if you want. Alright, so, and as you can see, I have the valve cover back on. I figured it'll help keep the area clean. I may be resting my hands on it. I haven't really cleaned it all the way anyways, so no big deal. There's a clamp down here you want to undo. I already did that. And then there's a O2 sensor that you want to undo. I undid that already. I'll show you that here in a second. Let me pull this box out. Doesn't want to come out. Don't you want to come out? Gotta be more aggressive. I always dread when something is difficult to come off because it might be difficult to put back on. But this is just a simple air box. No big deal. Alright. I'll open that note eventually. Well, actually I can kind of see. It could probably get changed. Alright, so this is that sensor. There's two clips, you know, to disconnect it. Oh, I'm wrong, there's just the one clip. So that being said, I kind of want to unclip it and put this back in the box so that at the end I can just, you know, pop it in and I don't have this thing just hanging out. This is something that could break. So I'm going to grab my pick. These plastic tabs, the older it gets, the car is, or the older the plug is, the more they want to be brittle and break. So you got to be real careful. I'm sure this part isn't cheap, and the clip part is actually part of the sensor, so if I break this I'd have to probably tape it, or if I didn't want to replace the part. Okay, so I just pulled that up. You know, you don't need specifically this tool, but it works good. I just kind of pulled on it until it pulled off. Now I'm going to take this and pop it back into the air box and re-screw it with these T20. Just to keep everything together. Sometimes it's easier to remember that way if everything is partially put together already. And for some reason it doesn't want to pop in. Not sure what that was. Got trees in the back. It was probably a branch. Alright, so that's done. What are we looking at here? I think this needs to get loosened up. There's a little clip here. This is pretty easy. Just need to separate the teeth. Should pop open. That. This, I don't remember where that goes. I think that was right here. Yeah, I had to undo this one so that I could get these out of the way for that job over there. So now this is loose. I don't think we're going for anything more than loose on this one. There's another one of those clamps right here, but it's not even plugged in, but the clamp is not damaged, so that's good. We'll do is make sure that that's done at the end. All right, so I think at this point it's these two. Go back to my 10. Is that a 10? Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, I don't know what that is. Yeah. Okay. So we got nuts and washers. I got the wrong size here. Let's see. I think that one's actually stripped out, so I have to grab it from the bottom somehow. That rings a bell. Let me try. There's a nut on the bottom, so it might be just a simple matter of putting a box wrench on the bottom. Yeah, I got one of those. So this is our ratcheting one, but a regular box wrench should work. I was barely sitting there. So I think this is a quick fix modification instead of replacing something. I don't know if that was me or somebody else. I don't remember. Like I said, it rings a bell, so maybe that was me. I thought that was something else though, but man, I'm telling you, a box wrench would probably be better than what I use because this flex one's not letting go. Give it. it to me now. I'm not sure why she don't want to go. Really, there shouldn't be anything holding that place. Jeepers. Well, the idea is to get this up and off. Okay. I don't know why this is being so damn difficult. Holy crap, hold on, man. You get hung up on stupid stuff. Watch it just fall right off. Jeez. Just being a tard. Alright. Now, I don't like this bolt just sitting here. It fits through the hole pretty tight, but I'm gonna just put a nut on it just in case it wants to be funny and fall through. Alright. You know what? I'm gonna keep this washer with it. Just keep it simple. Alright, and now I think this is actually possibly transmission. It goes to the front cooling system, so I'm going to say that that is transmission reservoir, which if that's the case, that'll be easy to flush. Alright, so that's out of the way. Now what? Okay. You know, I'm gonna just take these bolts off here and wiggle this thing and see how loose it gets. There's it looks like it's separate from this. It looks like it actually goes up and around it, so I'm hoping it just kind of fits like a form in the bottom. Honestly, I don't remember. I should, but I don't. I think those are 13, so let me grab that. They're 12s. I would probably save myself a bunch of time if I was better at identifying bolts. Am I wrong about that again? Is it really a 10? I think I set that down. I'm an idiot. What can I say? That should be an 11. I never see 11, so that would actually explain it. Yeah, see? That's a 10. I never see 11. And it's an 11. Yeah, okay. Explains it. Sorta. I got 2 nuts and 2 bolts. That's kind of weird. Take that back. It's 3 bolts and 1 nut. That's actually, and I take that back even. It's 4 nuts. Okay, it's bolt, nut, 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 bolt, bolt, bolt. So maybe I just do the bolts, see what happens. Because these I can clearly see go into the head, whereas the nuts I'm not sure, so maybe that holds something else on. Well, let's go a little further. Okay. Oh, there is a bolt back. Let me just take the bolt up first. See what happens. Down to one nut. Yeah, I guess it needs to two. Yep. Alright, so the intake is disconnected. It's just a matter of will it come out all the way? Do I gotta remove more stuff? Can I get it out just enough to accomplish what I need? Let me put these away. And I gotta move my tools so I don't scratch the car. Alright. Oh, I thought there we go. So, I want to say I disconnected this before. And in reality, it's gonna have to get, well, probably will have to get disconnected. I still haven't done this alternator. I'm not sure if I need to. And actually, this whole thing goes together. So maybe it would be easier to take that out. I'm going to, for the moment, leave this hose connected and take out this alternator. It's 4 e-torques. It's a little bigger one, so let's try. I think this is the 10. This is the 12. Okay, it's the 12. Some of these bolts are one-time use. I don't remember which ones. I know that the if they're blue, then for sure they're one-time use. But I guess you got to kind of weigh it out. Like if it's needs to be held in place because the other stuff is attached to it and there's pressure on it and this and that and the other thing, then yeah, you might need to replace the bolts. But if it just needs to sit there and be tight, the other thing is you don't want to put in a steel bolt in a aluminum thread. See, that feels very light. I wouldn't doubt if that's a one-time use bolt. I might now need to be replacing these. Before I go further, let me just see. I think I can slide it off. As to whether or not I want it to stay that way is a different story. Alright, let's take this off instead. Let's go that route. Those are just 10s. Oh wait. Yeah. I want to say there's one down low, so that one's a little tricky. Well, actually, you know what? I think I could just unclamp it, because this clamp is actually blocking the bolt. The only way for that to happen is for the clamp to have been done after the bolt was in place. So let's follow that logic and just undo the clamp. And that'll give me access to that bolt and probably access to the bolt behind it. I need a smaller screwdriver though. And actually, I might go the socket way on this one, because this is facing away from me. Ooh, that's small. I think that's a 7. I got an 8 here. Let's see. Even smaller than that. Pretty small. That might be like a 5.5 or a 6. I'll go back to the screwdriver way, which I have those sockets, but I'm just tired of. You know what? I may not have a choice. Oh dang it! All right, grab the whole damn set. Figure out which socket it is. All right. So I was guessing what? 5.5, that's pretty small. Let's try a 6. I feel like I'm gonna drop it. It feels right. Can't really get it on there all that good without dropping it. So let's, and you know what? How far do I want to go? Maybe I'll do this one too. Kind of takes two pieces here. It's kind of makes a turn. I guess I'll start with the outer one. It might actually lock together, I don't know. Bulk of it. I think you just gotta pull it off. It's just being difficult. Alright, I'll pry it a little bit. Come now, I'll grab a different pry tool. Be more aggressive? Okay. Like it wants to just pop off, but there. Get hung up on something stupid. And that's that. Alright. Do I even want to take this off? Probably not. There's a lot of stuff attached to it. Let's get the weight on it. You know, let's just see. Let's do that. Let's take those bolts out. Got one out already. I can turn this now, so oh, I spoke too soon. It wiggles, but it doesn't turn. I just need to turn a little so I can get to the bolt. Clamp is totally loose. Oh, you know. No. Alright, I don't think it's really meant to turn so much because it's got these tabs that lock it into place, so. But most importantly, I can move. Well, you know, I spoke too soon again. pretty sure there's nothing holding this on. It just pops on. Hence the clamp. But you know what? I think I can get around it. It's actually 4 bolts, so 3 more. A little bit of a pain in the butt, but not too terrible. I gotta find my 10 mil. Oh, let's do the hard ones first. I like to work downhill. Maybe I gotta take the extension off. Probably need a different extension. I can't see. Pretty dark down there. Yeah, I need my short extension. These weren't 11s, were they? I think these were 10s. Yeah, I must just not be on the bolt too good. Let's see. Just a little snug is all. This looks like one you could easily drop down in there because it kind of pulled out with the socket. Sure, I got my bolts right. Okay. So these feel like steel bolts. Alright, so I got 2 more. Again, I like to work downhill, so let's see if I can get into this back area. We're gonna have one easy one to wrap it up. I'm gonna crack it free by hand because I don't want to round it out. I'm looking for my small ratchet. Well, there it is. I love having to do each bolt a different way. Valve cover was kind of like that. For some reason, just doesn't want to get on the bolt. Well, it really helps to see though too. Yeah, well, that was the tightest one for sure. Alright. So I want to unscrew that by hand, so I'll put that on the ratchet. I might as well see one more, save the easy one for last. Man, I don't get... I spoke too soon again. Today's the day of speaking too soon. That thing does not want to turn, so I'll do it with my ratchet and wrench. Must have set that down. So, try to get behind it with this guy. It might make me do it the hard way. Maybe I'll, because I think that the clamp is meant to be in a certain position, so it doesn't want to rotate, so gonna be a little bit of a bugaboo. Why? I guess I can try to loosen this clamp up even more. Maybe I just gotta kind of stretch it past what's holding it in. Okay. I think I was just being a baby. Up. There we go. So, this piece is now free. Hey, I spoke too soon again. It's not free. There's a plug. That's okay. It's almost free. So let's undo this plug. That came off pretty easy. Cool. Alright, so show you what I was fighting with. I don't know, this clamp just didn't seem to want to turn. You can see it's actually supposed to sit right in there, so I had to kind of force it. I'll put it back in that position at the end. There's a plug down here. Oil. Greasy intake. Guess I'm not sure why that would be, unless it's just from the cabin here, or the engine bay area. Actually, take a peek. Yeah, alright, so now I also have this back here. I think I'm going to do like before and delicately unclip it. This one is slightly different. Maybe I'll do like before and unscrew it and then put it back. I think I filed my Torx away. Filed it in my pocket. Yeah, because I just, oh, I'm dumb. That's the plug and it's already unplugged, so I don't need to mess with that. See, wasting time. Alright. I'm hoping that this can come out. There's a lot of hoses attached down here. And actually, so all the hoses attach to like one big plate, and then the plate itself slides onto two long tabs at the bottom of the intake, and that's what's holding all them plugs on. So I think I can just unslide that. Oh yeah. All right. Actually, there are two tabs. Let's see those now. Gotta push the tab and then slide it back, or slide the plate out. Those seem kind of tight. Well, I can try to. Yeah, there's just not much flex. Might be able to get a pick to do the job. Get my hat off here, I'm getting warm. Okay. Well, I mean, it's meant to be tight, but geez, like it almost seems like that's not meant to be undone. It's so damn tight, but that is how it attaches. And that is directly to the manifold. So pretty much has to be. So I wonder if it just kind of is forced off. We try a little bit more aggressive. That has to be how it's done. So we'll pry a little more forceful, unless yeah. I'm getting the top to flex a little, but that's actually what you have to do. I'm gonna try something. So I know the camera is not showing this very good, but there's two tabs this way, and the tabs have like little catches on the top, and they don't flex at all, and it goes through, like it goes, each one goes through like a hole, and that hole needs to flex kind of in the middle up so that this can pop out, because this tab, you can't press it down. There's nowhere for it to go. So I'm going to use this, grab it from the back side and see if I can't flex that up without breaking it. Actually, if you wiggle it around, it gives you kind of more space to work with. Well, I didn't realize I had that much wiggle, so let me try it again the first way with this pry tool. It needs to be sharp. I really feel like it's gonna break. I don't see another way to do it. Man. All right, I'm doing the wrong thing here. It's not supposed to slide off. There's a couple of torque screws going in that way. I think they're the same 20s that I've been doing, so let's start doing this the right way. Stop wasting time. Where did I see those? They're not the easiest to get to. I better move my stuff, otherwise this will all end up on the floor. I still got a couple of these bolts. I still got this alternator bolt. Just throw that in there for now. I got these 4 bolts for the intake elbow. And yeah, so make a little space for myself so I can get under this. Where are ya? Because it's a bracket. Now I can't fight it. Set this down. Where'd you go? Oh yeah, right down there. You gotta really get low. Alright. Barely see it. It's a little bigger than that one. It's got to be, I think a 25. Doesn't look like a 27, but try 25. Getting these back in are gonna be real fun. I'm just not seeing my sizes today. I think that is a 27. Alright, I just can't see it that well. Oh, it has a little screw. And one more on the other side. This one's going to be real fun. Finding it's the first part, actually. I think bunch of wires in the way. The wires that are in the way are the ones that you're trying to get out of the way. Oh man. That one's down there. Okay. I have to go under the wires. So you're doing it kind of blind. Man. Even though it's going to be a pain, I'd rather try to get my hands on it because I have to do that when I put it together. So let's make sure I can how that goes. Like I said, sometimes you don't have a choice, but I think it'll stay in place, knock on wood. I could always lose my socket too. Oh, I had like a quarter turn. And of course it wants to fall down in there. Probably be my flashlight that falls in. Damn, let's see. Please don't fall. It's just sitting there. It's the cords that are keeping it in place. What a pain this little screw is. Oh, grabbed it just as it was falling. There. Okay, so the electrical portion of this is disconnected, kinda. Looks like one more plug to the alternator. At these plugs up here, they just slide off. But actually, I think these might be dummy plugs. I don't remember if I unplugged these or not, but I don't know, maybe they're not. Let me see what we got over here. I don't think I disconnected those. Those might just be dummy plugs. Because this over here, doesn't have plugs like that. So I was just trying to make sure I got the order of things, because there's two identical plugs side by side. So I don't think they go to anything, but they just sit up there. That'll be one less thing hooked onto it. And then there's a quick connect plug, kind of like that one up there. That one up there wasn't too fun, but this one, at least I can see it easier. Gotta kind of squeeze it front to back. I don't think there's anything more back here holding it on per se. Although this hose looks like it's hooked on somehow to it, because it's moving when I move that. So get this quick connect disconnected, and I think that might be the last thing. I should call it quick connect slash hard as hell to disconnect. Angle. There, that was the ticket. Just gotta get a better grip on it. Okay, so if my theory is correct, that should come off. Gotta remember that these thread through the middle, not just through the middle, but through this first hole. I hope these aren't gonna be in the way, because this needs to come out. And it's starting to run into this, but a little slack here. I'll just try and see what I can do. Starting to find out if I need this out the way or not. I want to say I did it over there and it wasn't a big deal. Okay, well, I got another Torx up here holding the fuel line on. Let's take a look at that. That's a smaller one, so, well, actually, with my guessing ability today, let's just see. Just test the one that's on there. Oh, so, if it's 25 is less common than a 20. Or at least it seems like it to me. We'll try the 20. It's a 25. Unless I didn't have that 27 in all the way, but here's a 25. And I gave every bolt a different size, or screw, I guess, in this case. that just holds that line on. Which is where it was kind of hanging up. I don't know if that's the end of it. I can at least look. The thing is all attached, and it's attached on the back side. It looks like it's a quick connect, but to be honest, I can't exactly see it, but other hoses under here are quick connect. So maybe I might have to get this alternator out. To be honest, I think the alternator's got to come out anyways. Maybe not. Let's wrestle with it a little more. You can see that that's got to come out under here. You only got that much wiggle room there. I mean, it looks like it can come out, but it's got two big tubes extending down. It's either that and or take that out. But that does hook up. Well, no. Let me try to disconnect this. See if I end up making a mess here. And I can't pinch that off. Bunch of quick connects, all this stuff. Feels like I gotta squeeze the white. Whew. Warmer. Yeah, and there's no real connection point over here. Yeah, it's kind of a hard connection, so it's here or nowhere. Feel it. I'm gonna try to I don't think this is on the bottom. I think it's just on the top. Maybe it just pops up. Maybe it presses down. That was it. So I just pressed that white stripe right here. You can see that. I don't got any fluid, so